Hi, I'm Bob Neal.
And I'm Melody Elouette.
On October 1st of this year, I celebrated 40 years as a Toastmaster.
40 years as a Toastmaster. This is why I am here today with Bob to hear a little bit about what his 4 decades as a Toastmaster has brought to him and his life. So Bob, thank you for inviting me here in beautiful Maple Ridge. I have a few questions to ask. Tell me, Bob, what was the first events that happened that brought you to Toastmasters?
In 1983, I worked for IBM for 31 years, and this was sort of like 15 years into that 31. I was looking to expand my life, do some things a little bit different, but within IBM. And I applied for a couple of jobs that year. I didn't get the job. And the one I most prized, the one I was most looking for, I knew of 2 other people applying for the job. One was a friend, David, who I'd known for about 15 years, and I knew him to be a Toastmaster. The second individual I knew to be competing against, and there may have been others, Dick was technically superior to both of us. He was a sharp guy and a real resource within IBM. I didn't get the job. Dick didn't get the job. My friend David, who was a Toastmaster, got the job. He did me a favor before he left to his new job. He introduced me to his Toastmaster Club. And I felt comfortable there right away. I knew I needed Toastmasters, and it wasn't long after that that I became a member of Sunset Toastmasters in Regina, Saskatchewan.
That's amazing. So this is an example of how word of mouth and a personal referral to join Toastmasters became a 40-year-long legacy, clearly, with you. So thank you, Dave.
I'll tell you, in 1983, there wasn't a whole lot of internet. There wasn't a whole lot of mobile communications or anything else. Toastmasters clubs depended almost solely on bring a friend to a meeting. That was the way Toastmasters grew in those days.
That's perfect. So you hear that? First lesson of this interview, bring a friend, tell people about Toastmasters. Bob, tell me about some of the most memorable moments in your Toastmasters journey.
Wow. In 40 years, there's a lot. If I go back to the early 2000s, well, maybe 1998, but turn of the century, I used to love to compete in contests, and I competed in contests for evaluation for the International Speech Contest for table topics. And I did quite well. I can remember competing at the division level, and we were in a high school in Abbotsford, and the high school had a drama club, and they had an excellent facility for this drama club. We spoke from a stage, maybe 3 feet above the ground, and I can remember starting my presentation and looking out into the crowd, and I could see eye to eye perfectly with the people in the 6th row. The people in the 1st row probably knew that I had a good shoe shine. Into the presentation, and there was sort of a transition period in this presentation where I was talking about some story that I'd seen on the internet and how I thought about it, and was then transitioning to something that happened in my life and how it impacted me, and how an individual who never knew it made such an impact in my life. And to handle this transition, what I'd done, I decided to sit down on the edge of this stage. So now the people in the 6th row would realize that I was bald, and the people in the 1st row could see me eye to eye. Anyway, that particular move from standing on the stage to walking to the front to sitting on the edge of the stage made a really big impact. And I knew it right away. The individual interviewing the contestants after that, our presentations, walked down, sat on the middle, at the edge of the stage, and started to speak to us. So I knew that particular motion had impact, and felt good about that from then on.
That's definitely an example of using the stage to your advantage, and I would say even using it as a prop even, but that's definitely something that I would remember, especially with an inspirational speech. And from my understanding, Bob, that person that you were delivering a speech about, was that about melody?
That was about the melody from years before. Some things you never forget, and she had a big impact on my life.
Perfect. So, Bob, last question for you. After 40 years, what has kept you as a recurring Toastmaster?
There's a few things, you know. If I go back to when I joined in 1983, it was all about career and about moving forward in my career, and it helped. It helped me immensely. So I knew what it could do for me. Secondly, I knew there was so much else I could learn from this, so much else that would benefit me. So I just stayed. I got that new job that I wanted, a new job that I was looking for, and I moved forward. I moved to Kentucky, Lexington, Kentucky, and one of the things that I was learning as I got there was that I had a great group of friends within the workplace, but I really didn't know people outside of the workplace. And so I looked for a Toastmaster club. And what I found was, same as in Regina, Saskatchewan, Toastmasters are positive people. Toastmasters are people working to improve themselves. Toastmasters are also people that work at supporting each other. That whole evaluation segment in our meetings is so valuable. The other piece is, I found my life as a father improve because of Toastmasters. I never got angry with my children anymore. We just found a way, kept my home life together, and it worked well. And if I go to one more, and it's as long, if I go back 7 years ago, I had a heart attack. I left Toastmasters for about 6 months, was not sure whether I would go back or not. I did go back, and I went back because I needed it. Toastmasters became therapy for me, just mental therapy, improving my life. After a heart attack 7 years ago, I lost my wife to cancer this year. I need people around, and they're great people to have around. Thank you, Melody.
Thank you so much. And thank you for sharing with us your stories today, Bob. I hope to visit Positively Speaking one day, which is the club that you're with today. And congratulations on your 40 years.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Happy
Thank you.
Thanksgiving.